Namaste and good morning, Magda. I hope I'm audible today. Am I audible?
Morning. Yes, I can hear
Morning.
you.
Great. Okay. So everyone who are present and who are not, for them is a recorded session. I will start with the session now with an opening prayer and we will chant Om one time. So just keep your eyes closed. Let me chant a prayer. Then we all will chant Om one time. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Inhale and chant Om one time. Chant Shanti 3 times. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much. Let's begin with the session. I hope you can see the whiteboard clearly.
Yes, I can.
Okay, can you see the what I have written on the whiteboard? Can you please read?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. So yoga anatomy and the physiologization. Now, yesterday the connection was not well. Actually, we are always good, but our connection sometimes
It's
it
away.
does happen. Yep.
But
But I hope you.
only at the end, you know. During the lesson it was okay, but at the end.
Okay, at the end it was. So you remember some things about yesterday? Can you know what we have seen yesterday?
Yeah.
Like
We've been talking about muscles, different kinds, different groups, like visceral muscles, cardiac, and skeletal. Yeah. We have ended at
okay.
skeletal
Yep.
muscles.
Okay. So we have ended with the types of muscle cells and muscle tissues. We have seen the specific muscle and its type and its cells and its tissues along with its properties and its functions. About yesterday, that is a small introduction about the muscular system. So today we're gonna see what about or how the names of the muscles are being given. So there are some things, some features. So there are some muscle features that are used in naming the muscles. So what are these that we will see? Features used to name specific group of muscles in our body. Today we will start with it. Namaste and good morning, Sheetal ji. We will start now.
Good morning,
So,
sir.
about these specific features which are used to help or to name all these muscles. So, like in our skeletal system, 206 just were the bone, but in our body there are 650. Just skeletal muscles are 650 here in our body. The rest are the smooth muscles and the cardiac muscles. So here, how to name these skeletal muscles? Here, there are some features. Instead of knowing all the groups and all the names of the muscles, so there are some features of some group, that will be helpful. So depending upon the parameters, depending upon some factors, the muscles are being named. So factor number one or the parameter number one is what? The muscle is named under the factor size. So depending upon how large it is, how small it is. So that is what the group of that muscles which are named under the section size. That we will see. So write down the first one, the size. On the parameter side, here there is first vastus muscle. So here is what? Vastus muscle. Vastus, this muscles, it means huge muscle. Vastus, this muscles means huge muscle, huge in size. Vastus muscles are the group of muscles mostly found in our hamstrings, mostly found in our back of our thighs. That we will see where is the location later. So we have these three vastus, huge group of muscles, which are named as vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius. Even in our quadriceps, we have these muscles, or in our thighs muscles. These are the group of muscles. So under the term lateralis, vastus lateralis muscle, I'm not writing each muscle separately here. Just I will not start with the thigh or with the leg, the muscles of the leg. Before we study, we just will figure it out. So under this muscle group vastus, there are many muscles. So the name of the muscles which will be starting from this vastus will be the muscles that are huge in size. So wherever muscles we found in our body which are huge in size are termed under the vastus muscle. Okay. Similarly, we have the second one, maximus muscles that are large in size. So like glutes maximus on our hip and buttocks, and glutes minimus muscles which are small in size. So these are specific category of the muscles group which are being termed under the section size. We have also very short muscles, that is brevis muscles. Brevis muscles also are found in our arms and legs. So we have vastus muscles, maximus muscles, minimus muscles, brevis muscles are the group of muscles under the section of the size, depending upon the parameter size. So these term features are used to name specific group of muscles. So to name the muscle on our buttocks, that is the maximus muscle, that means our buttocks is the gluteus muscles, but which are the maximus in size, large in size. So they are the terms used to name that specific muscle. Now, we will proceed with the next. After the section size, we will see the next section, that is shape of the muscle. So now some of the muscle groups will be named under the shape. How is the shape of that muscle? So now I will erase this. And the next feature I will write down here, the shape of the muscle. So the parameter shape. Have you heard about the muscle deltoid? So this deltoid muscle is the muscle which is being termed under the section shape. So this muscle deltoid, which is present in our shoulder, so we have anterior deltoid, we have the posterior deltoid, and the middle part of the deltoid, so medial. So this deltoid muscle here in our shoulder is triangular in shape. So depending upon the shape like a triangle, the muscle is being termed. So how is the shape of the deltoid? Delta, if you have been seeing the diagram, triangular. So this muscle is known as deltoid on our shoulder. This muscle looks like a triangle in shape. So they are deltoid. Similarly, we have rhomboid muscle. Rhomboid muscle like rhombus. The shape of the muscle is like a rhombus. We do also have trapezius muscle. That means the shape of that muscle on our back, in the center of our back, middle back, the huge muscle is in the shape of trapezium. Trapezium shape means where there are two sides parallel. So this is what, when the two sides are parallel, that is the shape of the trapezium. So we have these deltoids which are in the shape of triangle. We have the rhombus, we have the trapezius. Also there is a muscle that is been named as a round muscle. So the muscles which are circular in shape or round in shape, those muscles are named as teres muscle. So we have teres muscle, that means a round group of muscles. In our arms and legs, we do also find this teres muscle. So teres major, teres minor. So there are major group of muscles and minor group of muscles as well. Deltoids, shoulders, rhomboids, again in our back, in the upper back, the deep muscle, trapezius, is on the surface of our upper back, which we can see visible easily in the middle section. Then we have teres in many other parts of our body, which are round in shape. These muscle groups are termed under the section shape. Up till here, is it clear?
Yes.
So let's see the next feature. So that means the number 3 upon direction of fibers. The third term I will write down upon the direction of fibers. If we know the skeletal muscles are made up of type 1, type 2 types of muscle fibers. Muscle fibers means in that muscle fibers we do have our protein filaments, actin and myosin. So if we will study or the structure of the skeletal muscle, in that skeletal muscle there are a group of muscle fibers which are bind together, and those thread-like structures, if we will cut our if we will cut or see the cross section of any muscle, we will see the many threads in our muscles. That thread-like structures are the muscle fibers, which contains our protein filaments, which helps to engage that muscle. So depending upon this term, the direction of fibers, these muscles are named. For example, the first term under the section of direction of fibers, I will write here rectus muscle. So the rectus muscles are straight. Rectus muscles mean straight fibers. That means if I will draw here in this square, these rectus muscles are like very straight lines, straight fibers. Like you will find these muscles on our core, on our abdomen, externally from outside. When we see the 6-pack abs or 8-pack abs, those muscles on our abdomen are the rectus muscles, which are straight. So even the rectus muscles you do find in our quadriceps, that means on the top of our thigh, there are a rectus femoris muscles, so which are straight on the femur bone, so femoris. So straight muscles on the femur bone are also the part of the quadriceps on the top of the thighs. So these muscles are named under the term rectus, where they have straight muscle fibers. Similarly, along with the rectus muscle, there are also transverse muscles. Transverse means across muscle fibers. So these are deep muscles. Deep muscles means below. Deep muscles means they are below other muscles. So how are these deep muscles connected? With the help of the connective tissue, fascia. Fascia connects one muscle to other muscles. Tendons are the connective tissue which connects a bone to a muscle. Ligaments is a part of skeletal system which will connect a bone to another bone. So here with the help of fascia, the transverse, which are muscles, are then connected to the other group of muscles. So transverse muscles are like this across muscle fibers. Then we have the next oblique. Oblique muscles are diagonal muscle fibers. That means we have these muscle fibers diagonally represented. So it can be internally or externally. It can be like this diagonal line or like this diagonal muscle fibers. Where do you find the oblique? At this side, we can say our side ab, or on the side of our core, just anterior side of our trunk, in the front, at the side, lateral side, is what? Our oblique group of muscles. And also we have orbicularis muscle. That means they are circular muscle fiber. Muscle fibers are circular here in the orbicularis group of muscles. So here you will see the circular group of muscle fibers of the concentric circles like this. The orbit muscles are different, which are in circular, like we have seen in the shape, that are teres muscle. That complete shape is like round. But here, even if the muscle is square, but the muscle fibers inside that shape will be round. So these muscle fibers are orbicularis muscles. Where do we find these orbicularis muscles? Around our eyes, around our mouth, there are orbicularis group of muscles. Okay, up till here, which depending upon direction of fibers. Cleared?
Here.
Can we proceed further now? The next, upon the location. So the next term I will write over here, number 4, I think. Based on the location. So the muscles which are based on where they are located. If they are located in the chest, if they are located in the neck, if they are located in our buttocks, or if they are located in our legs. So pelvic, shoulder, where they are located, these muscles are named on their location. For example, the muscles which are located on our chest are being termed as pectoralis muscles. So pec means our chest muscles. So we have this pectoralis major group of muscles on our chest. Here, the pectoralis muscles. Again, after the pectoralis, we have to write glutes. Glutes or glute muscles are being located on our buttocks. So these location glutes means buttocks. Pec means our chest, pectoralis. Brachii muscle. What does this mean? Brachii muscles or brachii muscles? The muscles on our arms. We have biceps brachii muscles. We have brachioradialis muscles, which are the biceps on our arm. Up. So these are termed on its location. Brachii means arms. We have supra group of muscles. Supra means they are located above. So supraspinatus muscles are located above our lats. So that means these are supra group of muscles which are located under specific muscles are termed as supra, and the muscles which are located below under specific muscles is known as infra. So based on the location, the muscles which are located, like for example, above our shoulder, that is supra muscle. Below our shoulder, that is infraspinatus, infra muscle. So these are specific group of muscles. We have supra, we can term infra as below, and there is sub group of muscles, that means beneath, under, or we can say under. These are the specific group of muscles based on the location. For example, we have one more, that means lateralis muscle. I will write down here. Where are these located? To the lateral side. The lateralis muscle, where are we located? Lateral side. So where is the lateral side of our body? The lateral side of our body at this side of our back. So these are the lats which are at the side of our back, just next to our oblique. Oblique muscles are at the side of our abdomen, but at the side of our back to the posterior side, we do find our lateralis group of muscles that are termed as lateralis, lateral side of the muscles that are termed as lateralis under the location. Okay. So we have pectoralis muscles on our chest, glutes on our buttocks, brachii means arm, supra-infra and sub muscles which are under the specific group, subscapularis, infraspinatus, supraspinatus on our back and on our shoulder, which are above and below each other. Deep muscles, laterals are the lats which are present at the side of our back. Hope these features are cleared, because it will help you to identify all the rest of the 650 muscles when you will study for yourself in your self-study time. The next, now after the term location, we will see now the next term that is based on the number of origins. So we will see some of the muscles based on the group or the number of origins. Each and every muscle has some origin. Everything has some starting point in this. So the muscles will originate from certain point and will end at certain point. But how many number of origins that muscle will have? So that muscle will be named after counting its number of origins that we will write. For example, I think number 5th here on the number of origins. So on the number of origins, you know this specific group of muscles, that means biceps. How many origins will this muscle have? Can anyone tell me? Magda or Sheetalji? Rekha, is anyone?
Three origins.
How many?
3.
No, the term it says bi.
Two.
Bi
Two.
means,
Two.
yeah. So we have 2 heads. So these muscle will be originated with the 2 heads on our arm or on our legs. At the back, we have biceps femoris muscles as well on our hamstrings, which has 2 heads. Similarly, the muscles on the back of our arm is triceps. This muscle number of origin tri. So 3 heads. Again, the next muscle will be termed as quadriceps, quad. Where are the quads?
4.
Can you tell?
Legs.
So these are the specific group of muscles which are named under the number of origins. Biceps, triceps, quadriceps. We'll erase this and we'll see further the next group of muscles which will be termed on the parameter origin and insertion. So,
What is that?
yes,
This
Magda?
head. Exactly. Head, 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads mean.
Head. I will erase this word head. Just write down origin. If it makes us confused, then 2 origin, 3 origin, 4 origin, starting point. Okay, clear now, simple terms. So this muscle will originate from 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. That is starting point is head. I was denoting it as head. So it's better I erase that head because we can get confused in this head and the head of the muscle. So I will erase that. I will write the term origin. Okay. Now I just cleared Magda. Erase this now. On the basis of origin and insertion, we will study about origin and insertion. What does this term exactly mean and how are they helpful afterwards? But now we will see the muscles which are named after this origin and insertion. That means this is the starting point of the muscle and insertion means ending point of the muscle. So when will or where will the muscle start? That term will be used to name the muscle. Where will the muscle end? That term will be also used while naming the muscle. So, like we say, we have the joint words, which are 2 words which we combine and make 1 word. Similarly, we have this joint muscle name, which can be made up by 2 specific joints or the parts of the body, where our 2 joints or 2 specific parts of the body will be joined. That will be the one single muscle will be termed under that separately 2 joints. That means one will be origin and one will be insertion. So for example, sternocleidomastoid muscle. So more than 2 joints we will see. I will write down here the name of the muscle. First one, sternocleidomastoid muscle. This sternocleidomastoid muscle, that means the sterno and cladio. The sterno means our sternum. Sternum, where is our sternum? On the center of our chest, where our ribs are connected. And cladio, sternocladio muscles means the sterno and the clavicle. Clavicle is what? Our collarbone. Our collarbone. Here is our clavicle. So when the muscle which will originate or which will start from the sternum and clavicle, it will be named as sternocladio. And when it will be inserted in the mastoid bone, in the mastoid. So mastoid is what? The process of the mastoid in which you, in our cheek here. So these muscles, the sternocleidomastoid muscles, will be the muscles in our neck, which will help to move our neck. So whenever we rotate or move our neck up, down, sideways, these sterno muscles are being used. But how are they named? They are named where they are started and they are connected with the mastoid. So origin and insertion, these muscles have been named after joining these more than 2 parts, sternum, clavicle, and the mastoid bone. Okay. Now we have more muscles like this. So like we have brachioradialis muscles, for example. If I will write down here one more, just an example I am writing. Brachioradialis. These muscles, brachio, means our arm. From our upper arm, here the brachii muscles are been starting. But where are they ending? In our radial bone. So radialis. So when these muscles end in our radius bone, then the brachioradialis muscles, they are named. When they are starting, originating, and where they are inserted, ended. Like this, we have ulna carpalis muscle, ulna radialis muscle, likewise also with the ulna bone and radius bone. Even in the neck, we have the fibula bone and tibial bone. So we have the muscles which are named under the section where they will start. For example, we have the carpalis, we have the tarsals. So where it starts from the tarsals, where it ends at the fibula, that muscle will be named as fibularis muscle. The connection where they join more than 2 parts. About the term origin and insertion, we will gonna study what happens. See, this is a very important thing that we should know in the muscle origin and insertion. Here, when the muscle will originate from a point, that point is known as stationary point. I will repeat again, please note it down. When the muscle will originate from certain point, or when the muscle will start from the starting point, that starting point is stationary. That means it will not allow any movement of our part or any joint. The point of insertion, the point of insertion of the muscle, that means when the muscle will end at some point, that point of insertion, when the muscle gets inserted in some point, that is a moving part. That part is not stationary. So where our muscle ends, that part allows our body to move. So the function of the muscle is what? The movement and to provide the structure. So where it is happening? On the point of insertion, but not on the point of origin. For example, to move our shoulder, we have the deltoid. To move our upper arm, for example, these bicep muscles, I will take easy muscle to know. So when we need to contract or engage our biceps or extend our arm, the biceps muscles are originating where? From the upper arm, but where are they ending? Below our elbow. So to engage our biceps, to engage our triceps at the back, are we moving our shoulder, or are we moving the upper arm, or are we moving the elbow? We are moving elbow. So here when the muscle gets inserted, that part is not stationary. So where the muscles insert, that part we move to engage that muscle, not where the muscle is starting. In every muscle, this is just an example for biceps, but you take every muscle group, even the sternocleidomastoid, the muscle starting from the sternum bone, clavicle bone, but are we moving our trunk? No, we are moving our head, the mastoid. So this is what? Insertion. This is the starting point, sternum, clavicle, but where it ends? On the mastoid. So where we insert a muscle, that part we need to move to engage in that muscle, whether it can be contracted, whether it can be extended, whether it can be relaxed. We need to work on the point of insertion whenever we do any activity, not only in asanas, any activity. Clear about what is origin and insertion exactly? Yes.
But difficult.
Magda, your voice is not audible clearly.
I say it's clear, but it's kind of difficult.
It is a difficult thing at the start. To remember these names of muscles is not important here. The thing is to know the concept. The concept should be clear. I don't need, or it will be difficult for you to remember the names of the muscles in our body, but just try to clear the concept where it will be starting any muscle and where it will be ending. So when we move the ending part of the muscle, that will allow the muscle to get engaged. Likewise, that's it. You need to know.
Sir, one question. Or muscle is inserted into a joint?
Not in between the joints. No, not on the joint. So when we have this elbow, a bone joint, and if we will say that muscle is inserted, this is a gap, in this gap, no. So muscle is inserted away from the joint. Then and then only it can be extended and it can be flexed. If these are connected in between the joints, it cannot get flexed or extended. So it cannot get the flexion movement and stretching. So contraction and stretching will not happen.
So it is inserted into another muscle.
Yep, with the help of the tendon, another bone. It can be inserted into another muscle that are connective tissues. So when muscle connects to the muscle, that is called as fascia. When a bone, so radius bone, we have the radius bone here on our arm. So when we have the bicep or brachioradialis muscle, To this bone, there is a connective tissue known as tendon. We studied in connective tissue. So that tendon connects our bone to that muscle. So when we move this part, the whole muscle gets stretched. When we bend or flex, the whole muscle gets contracted.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead. Then I will talk.
Yeah, to develop or to build up our muscles or to lose our muscles in our body.
Okay, so I have written just cross-checking once whether it's written correctly. When muscle starts, that origin point is always stationary.
Yeah, perfect.
When muscle ends at some point and inserted in another muscle, that part always moves.
That part we have to move to engage that muscle. Yes.
That okay. And when we have to work on point of insertion in any activity.
Yeah. So like to engage that specific muscle in our body, we need to work on that muscle's point of insertion. So if I want to work on my bicep, I will work where my bicep will end, where it will be ending below my elbow. So what I will do, I will lift the weight by bending my elbow, where my bicep muscle is ending. So
Correct.
where we have to work, where the muscle will end on that specific part. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Then there is one last term now. We need to know some muscles are also named or grouped under its action. So what are those actions that we will see? The action we already know is abductor group of muscles. The adductors group of muscles are being termed under its action. So when we do abduction movement of the body away from the midline, adductor muscles helps to move the body towards the midline. So we have the abductor group of muscles, adductor group of muscles as well. We have the flexors group of muscles. We have extensors group of muscles. What does it mean, flexor? When the flexors group of muscles in our forearm will help to flex our arm. Extensor again at the back. When we extend our arm, how it is done with the extensor group of muscles present. We have levator group of muscles as well to lift a structure or the part. Like when we do the protraction, retraction or levator group, when we lift our shoulders and hips are the levator group of muscles. And at last, we have the masseter group of muscles. That means which action when we chew or chewing action. I will write here in bracket. When we chew the food, that is the term masseter, the name of the muscle. When we do the action of chewing the food, that is masseter muscles are being helping to move our mouth. Flexors group are helping to flex our part or the body structure. Extensor to extend the part. Adductor muscles towards the midline. Abductor muscles away from the midline. Are the certain group of muscles under the term action on the basis of action of the muscles. Cleared? These things.
Yes.
Okay. So what we have seen certain group of muscles, its features, helping to name 650 muscles. So these muscles are named under this certain features. So depending upon the size, depending upon the shape, depending upon the direction of the fibers, depending upon its location, depending upon its number of origins, depending upon its origin as well as insertion, and depending upon its action. These were the specific terms which will be used to name all the 650 group of skeletal muscles in our body. Okay,
It's 650, right?
skeletal muscles, I said skeletal muscles.
Yeah,
Yes.
650. And less remaining 100 are the
Remaining
smooth
it
muscles.
does vary. Yep. Remaining 100 are the smooth muscles or the cardiac muscles. We have 600 to 650 only skeletal muscles. We will end the session now with 1 Om, and we will see the rest in tomorrow's class. So keeping your eyes closed, back and spine spread, just chant 1 Om and 3 Shanti. Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much and have a good day. See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
sir.
I will end up the meeting. Thank you.